The Danish labor market is super hot, so unemployment is in a record low, there's a ton of job openings, and many companies are still raking in record profits. But this could all change and change really fast. After all, it's a crazy world out there. In the last 2 years alone, we have a massive global pandemic, we have a big war in next door Ukraine, and there's an energy crisis in Europe that we have never seen before. In that context, what I want to do today is to give you some insights and perspectives on how you can prepare for if and when things get tough. So specifically, what to do if for whatever reason you lose your job. The Flexicurity model. To start, a bit of context. If you live in Denmark, you are covered by the famous Flexicurity labor model. The gist of this model is that it's easy for companies to hire and also to fire people here in Denmark, but there's also a strong support network to help employees or people that work in these companies in between jobs. The model has 3 core elements, and here I quote directly from the Danish government's own website. 1. Employers can hire and fire at will, without excessive costs for dismissing employees. Litigation surrounding dismissals is very uncommon. Again, this is quite unique to Denmark when you consider a lot of similar countries in similar level of wealth, and also here in Europe. Number 2, employees who join and pay subscription fees to something called an A-Kasse, which is an employment insurance funds, get up to 2 years of unemployment benefits after losing their jobs. I'll explain more of this A-Kasse in a minute. And the number 3 point is that the Danish governments run education and retraining programs and provide counseling services to get unemployed people back to work as quickly as possible. This model is widely admired, and there are many other countries that are being inspired to implement it as well. So even Macron in France talked about it, for instance. To you as an employee, if that's what you are, this makes you less afraid of being fired, which at the end of the day, if it's the worst possible situation that you lose your job and you need to live from your savings, the fact that you have this safety net is incredibly valuable, especially as a stress remover. But what is an A-Kasse? So, specific to A-Kasse, I made a deep dive video just on A-Kasse, and it's going to be linked over here. But the gist of it is that A-Kasse are a voluntary, and I stress voluntary, insurance scheme. That means you're not automatically insured against unemployment when you're working in Denmark. You need to actually sign up for it. And the insurance, what you need to pay for, again, to sign up to this, costs an average of 500 krona a month or 6,000 krona a year, again, to sign up and be a member of this A-Kasse. However, these fees are partly tax deductible, so in effect, at least in this year, what you have been paying was around 375 krona per month or 4,500 krona per year, again, after tax, to pay for this insurance fund. And there are multiple types of A-Kasses in Denmark, so there's not just one, it's not a government institution, but it's kind of a private sector thing. And they, for example, some of them target business graduates, some target specific trades, but the insurance payouts will be the same regardless of which one of these A-Kasses you sign up to. If you're in the A-Kasse and you get the benefits, meaning that you lose your job, the benefits you can get are up to 19,351 krona per month before taxes. And you can get these benefits for up to 2 years, with the condition that during these 2 years you're actively looking for a job and also participate in these job seeking activities and courses or whatever the Danish state wants you to be part of. If you're a graduate, meaning like you finish university and you don't have a job, you can still get A-Kasse, but what you will get in your pocket is much less. But still, you do get something. To sign up to A-Kasse, you need to have certain requirements. So you need to have been member of an A-Kasse for at least 1 year before you can claim benefits. So it's not that you lose your job today and you basically sign up and start getting the money. No, you have to have been paying for a full year before you start claiming the benefits. The only exception being if you're a new graduate, which means that you can get the benefits right away. The second thing is that you should have had an income of minimum of approximately 250,000 krona over the last 3 years, unless you're graduate, of course, right? But it means that you should have been contributing to the society and paying your taxes. Again, 19,000, and this again is before taxes, is not a lot of money, but it's held better than zero. For example, in my case, I know that if I would lose my job and I need to live from this 19,000, it's gonna be tight, but it will help me pay all my bills. And that's a huge deal. I know that in a worst case, I'm not gonna be relying on my savings. For context, I have been in full-time employment for many years now, and I have not really used these benefits since I was a graduate, so it has been a really long time. But again, if I know that I get fired or something, it just gives me such an incredible peace of mind to know that I'll not again be eating my savings while I search for a job. And also, and this is something that sometimes undervalued, is that I might not need to just take the first job opportunity I find just because I need the money, but actually I can wait until something better comes up, maybe a couple of months later, while again actively searching for the job. So if you want to sign up to an A-Kasse, I recommend one called CA. It's the one I have been using for now, again, close to 10 years, and they have been very helpful in the few times I actually needed support. And at least this A-Kasse was especially focused on the business school types, so the people that have been in CBS, for example, myself, the university, and it's popular with internationals. There's going to be a sign up link down in the video description, and that's something if you are interested. There are many other A-Kasses as well, and again, you all get the same benefits in all of the cases. But what if you don't have an A-Kasse? Even then, the Flexicurity means that you at least get something. So you will still have a notice period before you get fired, if that's, unfortunately your situation. This notice period will depend on how long you have been working at a specific company, and you can see it in the table that you'll have here. But just rest assured that as well, that if you are fired in one of the major layoff or restructuring, so for instance, if the company said that they will get rid of 1,000 people or something like that happens quite often in the corporate world. Normally, the package you'll get, it's a lot more than this. Even if you have been working, for example, for a year only, then you'll still get between 4 and 6 months full pay, regardless again of, you only been working there for a year. Again, it will depend from case to case and from company to company, but again, that's something that that you have that runway. Again, you get fired, you get 6 months full pay or something like that, depends on the restructuring. And then only after that, you can still, begin to take the A-Kasse. So you get that pretty good runway, and hopefully you get a job before you need to rely on the A-Kasse. But again, the opportunity to know that you're covered by that before things go tough, that's great. But just don't get fired. So still, the base case, or my main suggestion to most people, is that ideally you just don't get fired in the first place. I mean, that's the ultimate hack. If you're incredibly good at what you do, or you have 1 or 2 key skills that nobody else in the organization has, or even at, let's say, at the level you're in the organization, most of the times you'll be fine. I went through countless restructurings or organizations and firings in both Carlsberg and Maersk. I've seen a lot of my friends being fired, and I can tell you now with all certainty that there's always place left for people that are very good and have unique skills. To know exactly what you need to be incredible at work and be ultra productive, you should definitely check this video out where I go through my whole productivity system.